Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to this special edition of the Bahamas Tonight as we continue our special coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. Just moments ago, a special press conference was held here at the National Emergency Management Agency's headquarters, where we're reporting live from tonight, where Nema officials updated the public on their latest operation. But what a lot of residents are concerned about is our tourism and aviation industry and its effect on the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. Joining us now is the Minister of Tourism and Aviation, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar. And Minister de Aguilar, first of all, just give us an update on the aviation aspect of the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian.
So all of the airports are now open, and we have been airlifting those residents that want to be airlifted out of Abaco and Grand Bahama to the capital. That exercise is proceeding well. And I think that we have taken the vast majority of those that want to come. In fact, one flight came out of Marsh Harbor today and was not even full. So I think that we are at the stage where we have brought most of the people into Nassau. They're being greeted, welcomed, and then they go off to a shelter if they don't have a family. So I think that's going well. The air sectors are open, planes are flying, and I think it's proceeding well.
Do those aircraft that need to come in with a humanitarian aid still need to go through a process with the Civil Aviation Authority?
You know, Altaviz, we had so many planes flying into the airspace of Grand Bahama and Abaco. We felt it was necessary, certainly while we were in the search and rescue stage, to put some control over the airspace. In one day, for example, 640 flights went from here in Nassau to Abaco. So it was a huge volume. I think it's beginning to taper off somewhat, and I think hopefully over the very short term, as we get the towers back up at Marsh Harbor and the towers back up at Grand Bahama, in fact, that tower is up now, we'll begin to remove those requirements, probably in the next couple of days.
Sir, with Bahamas Air under your portfolio, residents gave Bahamas Air a lot of flack for charging Abaco residents, particularly those in North Abaco, $75 just to travel from Abaco to Nassau, and they just experienced one of the most devastating periods of their lives.
That was an unfortunate oversight. That was immediately corrected. And then we found that there were a number of flights that were in the reservation system still, and people were going online and purchasing tickets. And so the perception was that they were buying tickets as well. But you can imagine when Bahamas Air was thinking about resuming service into Treasure Key, it was a little wary of what they would meet without any ability to communicate. And they felt that if they went out there right at the outset without doing going up there and finding out the situation on the ground and telling everyone it was free, they were afraid that the planes would be rushed. So once those operations got going, they were all free, and anybody who paid, their money is to be refunded to them. They just bring their ticket to Bahamas Air or their receipt, and they will get their money back. So that was an unfortunate oversight.
So, sir, just for clarification, airports are open in the Northern Bahamas, Grand Bahama, and Abaco, and those aircraft that have humanitarian aid can come here without the red tape?
No, any flights that are coming into those airspaces still are required to check in with the Bahamas Civil Aviation Authority. It's very easy. It's a very easy process. We just want to ensure that there are no sightseers or no one going up there to do things other than humanitarian aid and search and rescue. That's what we want the airspace to be reserved for at this time. So probably in the next couple of days, that will be removed.
Sir, Bahamian basketball player Rick Fox was on CNN today. He literally had to sell the Bahamas to the world to indicate that not only is Grand Bahama and Abaco devastated by Hurricane Dorian, but the remainder of the Bahamas is still open for business, for tourism business, pardon me. Is this a tough sell still?
Yes, because most of the people outside of the Bahamas have been hearing the Bahamas has been devastated. And so it's up to the Ministry of Tourism to educate the traveling public that while our northern brothers and sisters in Grand Bahama and Abaco have indeed been devastated, the rest of the country is open for business. Now, this may seem a little unseemly to talk about let's get business and people coming to our country and coming on vacation while there is so much human suffering. But what I've been telling people is that the way that you help the Bahamian people is to come to our country and go on vacation in the areas of the country that are not affected. New Providence, Exuma, Luthra, Long Island, Andros, so on, right? So And then the other analogy we draw so that the Americans could understand, because 80% of our foreign visitors come from America, liken it to the fact that if a hurricane goes from the Gulf and hits Jacksonville and devastates Jacksonville, that doesn't mean you don't go on vacation in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So the same analogy applies to the Bahamas. And so we're encouraging people. You know, yes, you may feel a bit odd coming to a country that's so devastated and lying on the beach and having a vacation. But this is the way that you're going to help us have the means and to rebuild those northern islands.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
And that was the Minister of Tourism and Aviation, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar. Just give us an update on the tourism and aviation sector's impact on the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. We can also tell you tonight that Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, issued a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister on post-Hurricane Dorian security, noting that government is providing the necessary resources to ensure safety and security on the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama in the hurricane's aftermath. Now, as of yesterday, the statement indicated that 274 Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Force officers were on Abaco, and 666 Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Force officers were on Grand Bahama, and those figures include police reservists. Government also indicated that 120 security personnel from the Jamaican Defense Force, as part of a CARICOM force, arrived in the Bahamas on Saturday, and 100 security personnel from Trinidad and Tobago arrived in the Bahamas today. Additionally, the Office of the Prime Minister's statement confirmed that there are large numbers of security forces from the United States of America and the United Kingdom present on the affected islands, involved in search, rescue, and recovery efforts.